Like to call the Tuesday, March 18th, Board of Public Works and Safety meeting to order. We'll begin with the pledge. Bert Cook. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Education is always an important part of our community and even part of the city. So with that, I'm going to allow Tucker King to come forward, if I can, to discuss the spring planting as he's on his way to Purdue Road School, the Harvard of the Midwest.
Thank you, Mayor. Good one. Thank you for letting me go quickly just so I can get out of here. Last Board of Works meeting, we talked about opening the bids for our spring planting. We were looking to place around 80 trees, and these are the quotes that we received back. We received 2 quotes, one from Dogwood Hills Tree Farm and one from Duneland Landscapes.
Could you repeat those?
Dogwood Hills Tree Farm and Duneland Landscapes. And they're in the totals of $50,150 and $60,768.35 respectively. And I would recommend Dogwood Hills. We used them last time. They did an amazing job. The trees are really high quality.
And again, we've got the list of where they're going.
Yes, and we intend, after you guys approve this, if you do, I've already written a letter that I'm going to send out to all of the homeowners that we intend to, and there will be a 2-week period where they can essentially, I guess, remonstrate, for lack of a better term, tell us they don't want a tree in their yard, and then we have time then still to find a new location to plant them.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Awesome.
Onward, son.
Thank you, guys. See you
Safe
the other day.
travels.
Appreciate it.
And boiler up. Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Public comment? Anything online? Nothing yet. Nothing here. We will move to clerk treasurer claims approval.
Okay, we have March 14th, civil city payroll in the amount of $546,262.27.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Civil city claims in the amount of $1,158,670.23.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Sewage claims in the amount of $316,328.10.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion. There's the sewer claims. We are back to norm. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
And then water claims in the amount of $330,473.29.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
And then also, I just wanted to, if I could please add this to the agenda. It's an agreement for services for the civic director. It's an agreement between the LaPorte County Convention and Visitors Bureau and the City of LaPorte that started back in 2014. This agreement pays for 30% of the salary of the civic director, and I'm asking for board approval. You should have that right in front of you.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes, and I'd like to thank the visitors, or the Convention and Visitors Bureau, for their support for the civic director. Thank you. Department heads. Jess Boljarek. Mark Schreiber, Parks.
Morning. Just a quick announcement. Everybody knows about our Foodie Tuesdays. They start up the Tuesday after Memorial Day, go through August. We're very excited to get that going again this year. But we've added a new one this year called Walking Wednesdays. So you eat out at Foodie Tuesdays. You can burn it off at Walking Wednesdays. Those actually will start earlier. We're going to start April 2nd. Folks can meet out at 12:15 out at the beach house at Stone Lake, and we'll walk the Stone Lake Trail. And very excited that come summer we'll be walking in either direction because they started work on Monday on the extension of the Stone Lake Trail for the public that might be wondering what's going on out there. They're extending the Stone Lake Trail from the beach house past Cummings Lodge and out to the Waverly Road Bridge. So we're very excited to see that project moving. But walking Wednesdays starting April 2nd at 12:15. That'll be weekly out at Stone Lake.
Rain or shine?
You'll have to watch our Facebook page to see if we're going to cancel or not, or give a call down to the park office if you're not on social media. But yeah, not necessarily.
Great
rain.
idea.
Not necessarily rain.
Tim Werner, water.
Good morning to the board. This morning I just want to give an update on flushing. We did start flushing the hydrants for the spring flushing program. Last Sunday, it's going to last about 4 weeks. We are grabbing fire flows for the fire department at this time, so it takes a little longer. We usually get about 80 to 100 done a night, and we're only getting about 50 grabbing those pedos. So if the public sees us out between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. with lights going on and making noise in front of their house, that's what we're doing. That's essential for water quality and to assure that all the fire hydrants and all 1,100 of the fire hydrants in the city are in working order. A little update on the Park Street development.
Before you go to that, when people call, don't they call sometimes with rust or something?
Yeah, they can contact us. So if you do get caught with a load of laundry, in the washer at that time, and you see some discoloration, do not dry those clothes. A lot of times they'll come out when you rewash them. If they don't, you can contact us. We do give out bottles of rust out to people just to get some of that rust out of the clothes. It's tuberculation in the pipe that's busted loose through these high flow flushing that we create through the system to, like I said, to help out with water quality and try to get some of that stuff out of the mains. But yeah, they can contact the water department at 362-9540, and we would bring out a bottle of the rust out to them right away. It's imperative that you do not dry those clothes because that will set the rust in permanently in the clothing. So just be mindful the next couple weeks when you're doing laundry at night. If you see any rust in there, like I said, go ahead and try to wash them again. Do not dry. Call us if you have an issue, and either myself or one of my water department employees will bring that bottle out to you right away. Moving on to the Park Street Hunters Woods development. Tentatively, we turned in some paperwork to the county to close Seavers Road March 31st through May 9th. It's going to be about 6 weeks for us to finish up the 16-inch main will go from Genesis to 100 West. Basically where the road comes out of development, I think that's called Deer Creek Road or Deer Trail Road. We'll work there to Genesis, and then we'll come back and work from that road to 100. So we're going to be in the eastbound lane, but I think for construction safety, we'll probably close down the whole Seavers Road from Genesis to 100 West, and it will last about 6 weeks.
And the alternative route?
Genesis down Coomler to Park, or the opposite way out to 39 to Pine Lake Ave to come in that way. I know that's a big area. There's not a whole lot of roads through there. You could also travel further to the east and get to Fail Road to come back out to Lincoln Way. But we just ask the public's patience through this time. It's a major project. It's large main going in. It's 16-inch diameter main, so we're going to need some room to be able to set that. You'll start seeing pipe being staged along that route here real soon. Other than that, we have finished all the pressure testing inside the development. It's ready to go. Brian, my supervisor, has been working with Hunter Development's team, so our timelines are looking really good out there. We're starting to do some taps. Everything's going really nice out there. And just one quick thing I wanted to address. I know some of the public's probably seen the leak we have on Lincoln Way across from CVS. We're still waiting on a permit from NDOT to be able to do that work there. So that's what the holdup is. They're having some issues with us closing the road down there. And all we want to do is shift everybody over to one lane. Right now, we just need one lane to explore Tory Dig and see what actually is going on there. So I'm hoping that we hear back from NDOT today, and we'll be addressing that leak later on this week.
Great.
That's all I have this morning. Thank you.
Jerry Jackson, wastewater.
We've had interviews with Kokosing and Bowen on our Headworks project. There's one more firm that's interested that we'll interview. I think it's next week. And then we'll bring those proposals to the board. It's the first meeting in April, or second meeting in April. Sorry, second meeting in April, and we'll get started on our Headworks project. One other item, I've got a customer out on McClung Road who didn't sign the easement paperwork, didn't connect to sewer, is now unhappy about it missing. I'm tempted to say sorry, Charlie, but I would like to get people hooked to sewer. One compromise, we might say, is the next sewer project we have where we're building grinders, we'll get them in. That might be one way to go about it. He hasn't, and I need to ask him directly, is he having septic system failure? I need to ask that question. If he is, I'll bring him back next time and we'll talk about it again.
It's a reminder to everybody else, when you have the opportunity, take advantage.
Take advantage,
It's
yep.
cost effective. Clerk Treasurer. Legal.
Nothing.
Jeff Bachelor Code.
Yeah, the dumpsters, we're gonna start those March 31st. So that's all I have.
New Chief Drangmeister. Welcome.
Good morning. Close enough. With the vacancy of Dick Buell, looking for permission to hire for his position. It would be the 44th. We were to have a swear-in today, as we originally talked, but we got some hurdles in perf that kind of prolonged that out a little bit. So maybe next Board of Works we'll have one. Also, Assistant Chief Jim Ferguson's been working on the project of a Citizen Police Academy. We'll be posting the requirements and the application process for that, and when that will be soon. So looking forward to that.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Chief Snyder.
Nothing more than I have on the agenda.
Roscoe Huffman, IT. Nothing to report, sir. Bert Cook. No report. Craig Phillips, Planning.
Just one quick item. As many of you know, the city's comprehensive plan process has kicked off. We had a great open house with a really good turnout last Wednesday for 2 sessions. I just wanted to report that anybody who wasn't able to attend that can go on the website for the project, ourlaporte.com, and under the public open house section, all the boards that were presented at those 2 sessions are available. And there's there's an email link if anybody would like to add additional comments for consideration as we collect data in the early stages of the project. So just wanted to report that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Andrea Smith, HR. Thank you. Department heads that do not have business before the board, go enjoy your day. New business, Mary Ann Richards.
Good morning.
Good morning.
With the break in weather, I am here to ask authorization to solicit bids to replace sidewalks in Census Tract 423. Specifically, these would be sidewalks on Madison Street, Harrison Street, and Maple Street, tying it in with the NDOT property. And then there's also one structure on Maple Street on the far east side of the census tract, like Maple and Linwood.
I'm sorry, tie it into NDOT.
The NDOT project on Indiana Avenue. Sidewalks have to be 88 since Madison Street is the secondary public route, and NDOT wants those sidewalks taken care of. So that's our priority this summer.
And are they participating in that at all?
NDOT? No.
And how much do we have to spend or budgeted?
Well, 295,000.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Jerry Jackson.
I've got quotes for Ford Lightning trucks. This is part of a grant from NERC. I got two quotes, one from Michigan City Ford for a total of $108,358.70. I got a second quote from Porte Ford for $112,876. So Michigan City Ford is the low quote, which is a problem for me because I wait lift with a salesman from LaPorte Ford. But yeah. I talked with our grant administrator, and she and Craig had talked, and they both believe this is a good grant. We can go forward. So I'd recommend you approve Michigan City Ford's quote for $108,358.70.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. Discussion? And the funding is there.
As best as we can ascertain.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No.
That was a reluctant aye.
Motion passes. Andy Snyder, Chief Snyder.
Thank you, Mayor. I've submitted a quote to the board for consideration for security cameras at all three stations, as well as the boat dock out on Pine Lake. Currently, we do not have any security cameras at any of the facilities except for the boat dock. So it's something that has come forward here several months ago when we realized we could have been of some assistance to the police in some investigations they were doing, but we didn't have anything to provide to them as far as security, as well as for our own protection within the building. This company came to us through, they've been used by HFL, Airport, and the library. That's where I kind of brought Roscoe into the discussions for the technical part of it, and working back and forth, we were able to come up with this. So really, it's, Attorney Otis has looked this over already. It meets requirements. It's just that it is more than the $10,000 spending limit that I am able to spend. I would ask if you do approve it, that you would make it contingent upon city council approval, because there is some funding that will need to be adjusted by the city council to make this happen.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Tim Werner.
Good morning. Before you, I have two proposals from Nice Engineering. This is all tied into the 39 North Improvement project. The first one, what I'm doing is I'm asking the board for permission to sign both these proposals. The first proposal is going to be for the 16-inch water main extension that will run from 100 West to 39 North to supply the booster station with the second feed that we've been talking about for the last couple of years. The second one is going to be the proposal for professional design of the elevated tank and the booster station. So now that we've gotten back the soil sampling information, we're ready to move forward with engineering of the actual water tower that goes on that property just south of the toll road. And I do have Howard Jones here also to talk about some of this. If there's any questions, he should have some timeline information for us too. I know the mayor's excited about that. He was expecting it yesterday, the tower to be up.
Good morning. Yes, especially regarding the tank. Is that the?
Yeah, this
is the big tank.
Yes, sir.
There's two elevated tanks that we're looking at here. One design is already in process. That's the one at the toll road and 39, and that's the one we had soil borings. The soil couldn't be better, so we've already started design. We already have foundations ready for that. These are the second two of the three total projects that kind of encompass the planning for the 39 North corridor improvements for water. And this is a south elevated tank, which will be a shorter tank, that will improve the northwest city's water and it also provides a reservoir for pumping up 39 North so that we don't have suction side problems within the city that has caused water problems in the past. The 16-inch water main coming from the east side, where these guys are finishing up their project on Park Street, taps into a great water source there, which is the east side treatment plant. It brings it directly to the north over to Severs, which really affords great capacity for the future for 39 North. The three projects are integral, and these are the second two projects that we're looking at now. They're going to be somewhat complex because that Severs Road is a complex set of utilities. Surveying is going to be paramount to really figure out where we're at. We also have an issue that the south side of Severs is city, north side is county. So where we put that's going to involve some permitting challenges. There's also got to be land acquisition because we need to bore under the railroad. We're pretty sure we know we want to bore under, but sometimes the best laid plans don't quite come to fruition. The shorter elevated tank at Severs and 39, we pretty much know where we want that to go, but we do have a little flexibility if our plans don't work out. But ultimately what we're going to have at the end of this is an elevated tank at the north end, a new pump station at the south end with an elevated tank to supply that, but also maintain pressure on that area of town if those pumps start to fire up. And we'll also have a transition from that pump station's higher pressure with a pressure reducing valve back into the low pressure system, which is the city side, by the Porte stop. So we'll improve water capacity there and also allow that to loop back into the city. So there's quite a lot going on here, but it all meets the plan that's been discussed and put forward over the last 2 or 3 years to improve that corridor.
And what does it mean to the residents of 39 North?
It means they'll have much improved fire flow capacity, far more reliable water, because even if you have a pump station failure, you've now got an elevated tank that can supply water. And it even means that we can supply water further north, which is a possibility in the future. Timeline with this, we're looking at design in 2025, possibly bidding it at the end of 25. The tanks themselves will be constructed in 26, and that really depends on who the low bidder is for the tank construction, because those will be manufactured at their facilities, and then they be brought here to be erected. That could be towards the end of 26, it could be 27. The timeline is to be decided as we bid these.
And is that within the commitment that we made?
Yeah, so we talked about a year of design, a year of construction, for that 3-year mark. It is important that the public realizes, so the 3-year, bringing city services to that area, we already serve that area. So we're not held to that standard of the 3 years, but we're still gonna hit that mark.
Legally, I agree with Mr. Warner that we're already in compliance. We're just upgrading to make what's already being offered better.
Perfect.
And Jerry and I met with an owner out there last week, and we're looking at some additional upgrades on the sewer side as well, that kind of further down the line.
And we certainly appreciate the interest from businesses, residential, now that they know they have a reliable water source. So we appreciate their interest in developing 39 North. So, Mr. Phillips?
Just one question for Mr. Neese, or for Mr. Jones. When do we think we're going to have estimates for the overall cost of the project, so we can start financing for that? Just wondering about the financing process.
Oh, we can get you estimates today.
Okay.
They will be refined as we move forward.
But we can get a pretty good estimate of the overall cost of the
Absolutely.
project. Okay. Because
And
we'd
I-
like to start the financing process, and it takes a number of months, and so we were just curious.
And I can say they're broadly in line with the estimates that we've had over the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Steel's gonna go up a little bit,
Okay.
probably, but yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. That's my only question. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think our estimate's above the last time that we did. We're still at that 13.7, right around in that area.
Yep.
So,
Mayor, do you need a motion for him?
Well, I'm going to put both of these. Is it okay to
Okay,
do
yeah,
two
and
of
then
them?
I have
motion related to that once you're done with those.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the 16-inch water main extension, as well as the elevated tank and booster station.
I'll second the motion.
Go ahead and prove those, and then well, if you want to add to that, we should be closing on the parcel for the water tower probably before the next Board of Works meeting. So if I could just have approval for the mayor to have authorization to execute any closing documents.
So I'll amend that motion to include any signature by the mayor if closed before.
Correct.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Give you the opportunity.
I appreciate all of you doing what we said we're going to do for the residents of 39 North.
It would be great to hear updates as this goes along, and
It's a huge project.
It is a
really
huge project.
It's gonna be, definitely noticeable when you're traveling in that area. It's gonna be a lot of work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Howard.
As well, yesterday, and obviously you know about the property tax debate that's happening at the State House, a large rally or small rally, supposedly a larger rally that was going to happen, but ended up being smaller at the State House to basically say, stop stealing our property taxes. And that's what the signage is, and I assure you and I mean this sincerely, our police and fire do not steal. And to even recommend the thought that we're stealing property taxes, money and stealing funds for what we do after everything we do for our community, we're welcome to have the discussion with anybody about our processes. But sorry, guys, our police and fire do not steal, and they earn every day saving lives. And I looked over this morning at 7 a.m. and a woman or a young man, older man, was being helped down the stairs because the elevator is not working, and our fire team was there. So, again, let's get it on if we're going to get it on. So, with that, is there any other business? The next meeting, Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I think there's one more item.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Microphone.
Oh, yes.
This would be for them to set a diesel tank at the treatment plant. That would allow me to remove the 2 underground tanks that are out of spec for current standards. It's a $0 contract unless we buy the tank. And it'd be my intent not to buy the tank because eventually we're gonna go to a natural gas generator. But it's got a dollar value if we buy it. So I wasn't quite sure if that's something I can sign or it's,
Are we comfortable with Blue Petroleum?
they're our current supplier. We bid and they're our current supplier for the city in general. I did look up the price of the tank and that's kind of market rate. That's about what those tanks cost.
So we're getting fuel from them currently?
Yes.
Okay. So
This
this
gives them-
isn't an approval of fuel contract
No.
or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Just gives them a place to put it instead of our current
We're just have a
underground
different tank? That's,
Yep.
okay. I think it should be approved by the Board of Works, but I'm fine moving forward with it.
And what the request is to allow you to sign an agreement?
Correct.
And the reason this came, I should explain a little more. The reason this came about is when we set that tank, we're gonna have to pipe our generator jockey pump into it and a little bit of electronics for level and everything. So there's some costs of installation that we'll do in-house. But if they are no longer our supplier because they're not the low bid, I want some alternative to say, okay, I want to buy that tank and then not redo all the connections. So this gives me
You'd
that
need approval to
alternative.
pay for it, right?
At that time, I
Yeah,
would, yes.
right.
Yep.
But the price would be $7,380, is that
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But then
Courtney, what's
overall,
the department head max that they can? 10,000. Yeah, okay.
but then the overall savings, is there a savings?
This is just allowing us to operate. We gotta feed diesel fuel to our generator.
Okay.
And then we could go with a generator-only tank, but you gotta have a few days worth of diesel fuel to run the tank just in case a tornado or whatever comes through. and you need to be able to turn that over to keep it fresh. So the way to do that is to fill our trucks out of it. So that, this gives us that ability. I'll be in front of the board here pretty soon with quotes to remove our old tanks, our underground tanks.
And it's because our underground tanks are past their useful life? Is
They're
that-
35 years old and they no longer meet the current standards. So when the state comes out and inspects them, I get gigged every time.
Motion to approve.
So moved.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay, perfect.